Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Someday with Jay Barsky. This episode's guests are two good friends of mine, South Florida's own music duo, Brady Beats and the Token Girl. The two DJs are a married couple that have been performing all over South Florida, and I thought to have them over for my first in person video podcast. You'll hear us talk about their record company called Electric Safari Records, their own music influences, and much more. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoy our Someday with Brady Beats and the Token Girl. Brady Beats and the Token Girl, what's up? How you doing?
We're doing great.
Yeah, we're doing great. Thanks for having us here, Barsky.
You're welcome. All right.
Thank you.
So, what was going on today? Were you doing like a photo shoot or something earlier that I saw?
Well, yes, we knew that we had a podcast going on
Mhm.
and then we also have an event tonight. And I thought, why not get my makeup done? I got to milk it for all it's worth. You know what I mean? Before the shit comes
Oh,
off my
yeah.
face in the morning. So it's an all day event when I get my makeup done. Right?
Yeah, and a funny story is that you know, the guy that does the makeup for Crystal, he told us a story once about how some of the people he does it for, they'll wear the makeup for a week, They like
Mhm.
try to get the most out of it. So, Crystal, she won't go more than a day, but there are some people that will wear makeup for a week after our friend does it for
Oh,
them.
wow. First off, I mean, before I get into my questions, I just want to say, like, you two are like a really cool couple. I mean, I appreciate like your open mics and like y'all really got me into karaoke too. I've never really been a karaoke person, but now I kind of treat karaoke how I treat like when I do the comedy open mics. No, because now I'll keep an eye out for like different karaoke's going on. Like it kind like how comedies allowed me to explore different like venues. I kind of treat that as karaoke. So I'll go to different places like kava bars, different bars, and just like do some karaoke. So y'all, I have to thank y'all. Really got me like out of my shell to like do that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's like all about exposure too. And that's good that you're going to different
Yeah.
places.
I mean, the last one I did was a big one was Bounce in Del Rey. I don't know if you've seen that. And that's like a younger crowd. And I was like, I don't know. But I was like, you know what? This is like, it helps you overcome your fear of public speaking and just having I mean, karaoke is just having fun. You don't have to be like a professional at singing it.
I feel like age is just a number, especially down here in Florida. And, you can just be yourself anywhere, I feel like.
So, first thing I want to ask you too is like, I mean, you're DJs, but I feel like you're more than, DJs. You do like house music, you produce music. So what got you into doing like being into the music business and becoming DJs?
That's a great question. So, do you want to? So, pretty much Spencer, he's been DJing, or Brady Beats has been DJing a lot longer than I have.
Oh,
And
okay.
we met on a dating app right before COVID. And I asked him to teach me how to DJ during COVID. And that's really kind of how it started when we started, dating. But how long have you been DJing for?
I've been, playing with this stuff a long time, like 20 years, but professionally, or at least not, whatever you want to call it, what we do, that really started like 2 to 3 years ago. You know, we
Yeah.
we we DJ'd at a lot of house parties during COVID
Okay.
because there was nowhere to go. So that's when I was started to do it more because people were hanging out at home with their friends. So we were DJing parties. Then we transitioned to the carver bars. And then from the carver bars, we worked to some like bigger places, some different nightclubs in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, West Palm Beach. And we've played a lot of venues now. And it's definitely been fun. And we want to do more and bigger, going forward.
The funny thing is I grew up in a small town in Bumpkinville, Massachusetts. Never thought in a million years I would ever DJ anything ever in my life. So
Hmm.
this is a surprise to me, but music has always been a huge part of my life. So it makes sense. And I feel like everybody has a gift that you have to find that gift. Sometimes you find it earlier in life, sometimes you find it later in life. For me, it was later in life, but I'm glad I found it. And music is definitely a gift of mine. And I was always in marching band, so I was able to keep time
Okay.
with things. So
Oh,
it came
okay.
natural to me.
Mhm.
And when Brady Beats taught me how to DJ, I obviously wasn't good when I first started. I had to
Mhm.
keep practicing, and we were doing the house parties. And I remember some friends of mine said, "Hey, can you guys DJ this house party?" And it was the third time I ever DJ'd ever out. And I'm like, look at me. And I'm like pressing the
Yeah.
buttons. But years later now, DJing, getting thousands and thousands of hours of DJing and experience, we're like pros now. Like we can
Yeah.
just literally throw out the decks here and boom, and just throw out a mix. But that's really how it started was COVID because we had all that
Hmm.
time to learn how to do it, gain that experience over the years. And that's how it kind of took off. We never really marketed.
Right.
It was word of mouth. People liked what they heard, people liked what they saw. People saw something in us before we knew it.
Mhm.
People would say 3 years ago, "You guys should play in Miami. You guys are
Oh.
really good. You guys should play at
Oh.
festivals." We're like, "Are you nuts? Are you nuts?" Now we can see it.
Yeah.
Now we can.
Oh, that's awesome. So how long did the process kinda take for you to become like you felt comfortable that I'm a DJ now, like I'm just as good as Brady Beats or almost.
And I feel like I taught him a few things
Oh
too.
yeah, of course.
For me, I would say probably since we started producing music about a year and a half ago was
Hmm.
when I was like, wow, we can do this. Is when I started seeing it. How
Right.
about you?
I don't know, man. It's a tough thing to talk about, What was I saying? I've I've always had confidence in us and our ability to do it professionally.
Hmm.
I think just like anything, it's you got to put in time and work, and we've been doing that, sticking to the
Oh yeah.
strategy. We're not really like bouncing around from genre to genre or trying different ideas. Like we are who we are, and if you've come and seen our shows, like what you get, and some people like it, and we're thankful for that. But we're just going to keep doing what we like doing. We're going to keep making the music we like. We're not too worried about the noise because we could talk to you about like the noise in the industry for days.
Hmm.
And we're learning, very fast how this industry works. So we are, independent. Like we're small, we're tiny, right? And we're trying to do it all on our own.
With big dreams.
Of
So
course.
that's kind of our goals. We do want to do this professionally. For me, I want validation, and I also want to prove to myself that I can do it just because.
You're performing at Kava Cat tonight, and I mean you do a couple of Kava bars. What got you interested or kind of drew you to kava bars to kind of practice your material?
Well, like during COVID again, everything was shut down except for some kava bars. Those were really the only establishments that were open. So we would frequent kava bars and we got friendly with the kava tenders there and we told them we were DJing on our own and we would do free gigs to gain experience. So we did some Fridays, Saturdays, we would DJ for hours, getting that experience for free. And then, like I said, people liked it. And then they went to other kava bars and word of mouth got around. And then they asked us to DJ. So we DJ'd, for free for a good amount of time, getting those hours of experience. And now, we're doing good.
I love that, and I remember when I was looking up open mics because I don't try to like frequent the same open mic over and over again. I One thing that really got me into comedy is just like exploring and going to different places and meeting new people. And so I remember when I first saw like on Eventbrite, like Brady Beats and the Token Girl, like I guess your profile, like you hosting these open mics. I'm like, okay. I was like, what's this about? So it took me a while to finally like go and like, I think Rooted Kava was the first time I saw it was, yeah, I think Rooted Kava was the first one. But I love it when you do different venues and stuff. I can always explore and like if I haven't seen y'all in a while, especially if I'm not trying out new material, at least I can do karaoke and it gets me
You
a
need
chance.
like your dose of Brady instead
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Barsky.
exactly. Like I think I was having when on a Wednesday when I came from what you call drum circle, and I was just excited. I was like, I haven't seen these two in a while. I was like, at least let me go do some karaoke, or like I don't even think it was like a karaoke. You were all just performing, and I like to dance, so at least I can like go and like y'all play some music,
Like
and I like
vibe out.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See my friends. So who are some of your favorite like DJs or house music artists you all listen to?
So you're going to laugh, but we often joke that we're each other's favorite DJs. We
Of
listen to our
course.
music all the
Oh.
time. We were listening to it in the car on the way here, live at the Peach, which is our newest 2-hour DJ mix, 2 hours of bliss. I don't know if you've
Mhm.
heard it yet, but it's amazing. Or like I'll look at him and tell him how handsome he is and tell him that he's my favorite DJ in the world because he is. And then he'll look at me. But, you know, I would say more famous DJs out there, Eric Prydz for me, even before meeting Spencer, but it's just such a deep rabbit hole, honestly.
Mhm.
Once you get into the music, it goes deep. We've seen Seth Truxler. We love Seth Truxler. How about some of your favorites, honey?
Yeah, well, growing up, back in the day, I used to love this guy called John Digweed, who's a very big, like, progressive English DJ. But, like, later in my life, I'm more into sort of organic, real sounding house rather than, more like futuristic, like house techno. So,
Mhm.
your artists and your styles change, but we have thousands of songs. Like most DJs, it's more about like looking for particular producers that you like at the moment. This guy, Adam 10, for example, is a very like big up and coming DJ producer around the world.
Mhm.
He's actually from Israel, but his music is like really really nice. So I'm always going through stages. It could be somebody completely different next week, but yeah, we just love the music overall. We love the scene. We love that it's an international thing and people feel it all around the world.
Mhm.
So we don't really listen to too many DJ mixes. Right now, most of our focus is on ourselves. So sorry if that's a little bit selfish, but we're focusing on making our mixes, picking the musics we're going to play, the music we're going to make. And we just don't have too much time to listen to others right now. But we have seen a lot of great DJs. We've seen a lot of them, and a lot of the DJ producers out there that we look up to that have done what we're trying to do. We appreciate them, we respect them, and we're just trying to do the same thing too.
Well, you also have the Electric Safari Records. I don't know if I can call it a production company or that's right. But what made you want to start that?
So, funny story about Electric Safari Records. I'm going to go deep here. Before we even started producing any music at all, we had to get ourselves out there. So, we started recording our DJ mixes.
Mhm.
So, if you go to our SoundCloud, there's a mix called Electric Safari on there. So, it's a mix that we did at our home in our living room. And I have the creative brain for some reason. And I listened to it and my brain thought it needs to be called Electric Safari. It
Mm.
sounds dope. What a
Mhm.
cool name is that, right? Because it's electronic music and it takes you places.
Mhm.
Several years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I went to a paint and sip class where I painted a neon elephant.
Mhm.
I still had that painting. I took a photo of it and filtered it a little bit and put that as the image on the Electric Safari
Mhm.
mix. And that's an actual painting that I did.
Mhm.
And when we started producing music, everybody's dream is to release on a label, right? Because they're supposed to get you more exposure. And we thought, why not do it ourselves? Why not, since we're starting to produce music, and I think we started producing music maybe a year after that Electric Safari mix was released. And it's still
Mhm.
up there. Take a listen to it. It's great.
Mhm.
We love it. We still listen to it. we decided to call the record label Electric Safari Records.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it all started, with that one mix a year ago, me painting that picture 10 years ago. And you never know when one little thing that you do leads to something so significant in the
Right.
future,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. And it just made sense for us.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, self-producing these days. So if you go back and listen to a lot of the classics that you hear on the radio, it could be anything, right? 80s music, Motown,
Mm-hmm.
like whatever, classic rock, whatever. Most of that music came through record labels that were like big and legitimate, and probably five sound engineers, a few producers.
Right.
Like there was so much people that's why when you listen to the stuff on the radio, a lot of it sounds good because there was a higher threshold to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can go and make a track on a computer for $600. You don't need the $1 million studio.
Mm-hmm.
And there are, you better believe it. There are people out there that can do that, that can make world class record sounding quality music on just an Ableton on a laptop.
Yeah.
So you could talk about this for a while, but if you're an independent artist starting out, even if your music is really, 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 really good, really, really fantastic, that will not be enough to get signed by a label because
Mm-hmm.
they want your audience.
Yeah.
They want to see that you have 100,000 people on Instagram and maybe, a million people watching you on YouTube. They want that.
Mm-hmm.
And even if your music is really, really good, so it forces artists to basically try all this other stuff, social media, this, that, posting, reels, you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
Trying to get noticed. If we can make enough noise and get popular enough online, then eventually they're like, okay, you guys can come in, and then they let you in, and then you can become successful that way. But it's about doing the label to self-release because it's the only option we had, and
Mm-hmm.
now we own a record label that, yeah, it's not super huge, it's not super successful, but where would it
But we
be?
love it.
Where would it be in
Yeah.
20 years? Where would it be in 20 years? Who knows? And maybe at some point we will, start having more artists on it, but still trying to build.
Real quick, super
it.
funny thing about Electric Safari Records. I was telling Spencer recently, I'm like, you know what? I love Electric Safari Records. They are the greatest record label because they let us do anything we want, anything at all. Sometimes we even forget to add them as collaborator or anything, and they don't mind.
Yeah.
They never say
Yeah.
no. So I think that's funny. That's the benefit of owning your own record label.
You can make the art and do exactly what you want, and it's a beautiful thing.
So, is there a reason why you chose an elephant that you kind of painted, or was it that you just like elephants, or?
I painted it 10 years ago. It just made sense in my brain. And that's what we went with because, when you go on a safari, what do you look at?
Mm-hmm.
There's like multiple different animals. One of them's an elephant, and it was neon. And we're like electronic music, and we're kind of neon vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So it just like worked.
And Crystal did it. It's nice. Every logo is done by AI today, and they all look computer generated, and this is nice.
And
It's
it
a
was done by a human.
real
I
piece
did
of
it.
art.
I
Yeah.
painted it in a paint and sip class.
That
10 years
Electric
ago.
Safari elephant, that's a great logo. One day
Yeah.
I'm going to have those on t-shirts, and people will be walking around with the Electric Safari elephant.
And we do everything ourselves. So it takes time, and we're working it.
So if you get a shirt, I'll like a shirt. I've been meaning to get like a shirt from you all too. I want to rock it like during your shows
I
and
thought you
stuff.
had a shirt.
No, I
They're
don't. I have a
super. We just got a
sticker.
new stock in, and they're
Oh, okay.
like we're
You
soft.
gotta give him a shirt.
Made in America. Yes,
nice.
we'll give you a shirt. We'll get you a
I
shirt.
thought you had one.
Yeah.
No, I have a
You got it.
sticker. Like I've been, I try to collect any stuff that you all like have.
Oh yeah, just
It's
for
a
the
good
camera.
investment. It's a good investment for the
It's
future.
the
Brady
Toby Dog
Beats.
sticker right there.
Get them free at our events. Just come see us. We'll give you a bunch.
Well, I've seen you all been posting a lot about, or you've been promoting a lot about Hey, a music video called Hey.
Yes.
So before I get into that, I did actually film your first music video in Palm Beach over in that area. So how was it filming your first music video there?
So because, we had a feeling you'd ask us about that, I am wearing the official Keep Moving wig
Oh.
here. So this is the actual hair that I wore in the music video right
Mhm.
here. And it takes months and months and months and hours to make a song, right?
Mhm.
You put a lot of time, you put a lot of energy into it. And a lot of artists just put it out there, boom. They don't have any pre hype, they don't have any post hype. It's just, here's a song,
Mhm.
mic drop.
Mhm.
We wanted to do something a little different. We just felt really good about this song. We feel good about all of our songs, but we wanted to do something more. And so we found the most brilliant, amazing videographer in in Palm Beach. He's amazing. And we partnered with him. It took a lot of planning and it looks glamorous, right? You've seen it. It's
Mhm.
pretty glamorous. It's
Mhm. Of
like
course,
old,
yeah.
it kind of gives you old Hollywood vintage classic vibes.
Yeah.
I'm not shaking my ass. Maybe
Mhm.
I am, but I'm fully covered. I'm not showing skin. He's not either. He's fully covered.
Mhm.
But it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And it took so much planning and time to implement that. And I feel like it partners really well with the time and energy it takes to put a song together. So it was, I remember it was raining for 2 to 3 weeks before the shoot. We picked the day. We're like, we're going to film this day, rain or shine. We don't give a shit. We're
Mhm.
going to film it.
Mhm.
That day was the first day in weeks that it was sunny and blue skies out and beautiful weather.
Mm.
It worked out in our favor. We had this little cart. We went around to different locations. Spencer and I sat down a week or two before, literally with a pen and paper, and we drew out the storyline. We drew out where we're going to go film. A week before we went to Bloomingdale's, I got my dress 70% off there on
Mhm.
sale. I was like,
Mhm.
I want to look classy, chic, Jackie O,
Yeah.
that's because when I'm a creative, when I hear or see something, visualize what it looks like. I rewind in my head to figure out how can we implement this and make it a reality.
Mhm.
And it was a lot. It was several hours. We went to different locations. We filmed in front of the public part of the Flagler Museum and we got kicked out. We're like, dude, this is public. And he was like, you
Mhm.
can't film here. It's like, fine. You don't want to be in our glamorous, beautiful video.
Yeah.
No problem. I did a pop-up video saying they kicked us out and tagged them in it.
But
Mm.
we walked our dog there a million
Yeah.
times. It's called Lake Trail in Palm Beach. It's this beautiful trail by the water. It's so beautiful. And we've walked
Mhm.
our dog there a million times. We've never ever seen a security guard, and the one day we go there to film, it's open, and they they got on us so quick, you know. That was, that's part of the challenges.
But it just came out even better than I visualized it. It
Mhm.
just came out so good and as being our first music video. And what other married electronic music, duo in the world do you know that makes the music and does their own videos and stars in them?
Mhm.
How many people do you know like that? No one.
None,
I
yeah.
liked the video. It came out really, really
Yeah.
nice, and it's just a really nice like memory of our life. Like we
Right.
can go back and watch that, and what are you going to do? Like have a photographer come and take photos of you and your family? Like
Yeah.
this is like beautiful. So
And
we're really proud of it.
And we had the most amazing team that helped us. We couldn't have done it without them.
Mhm.
That we called the dream team, and they're coming with us with every video we do. And it was a lot of work, and we were sweating the whole time. We were in between takes. We were blotting each other, sweating,
Mhm.
changing shoes because the shoes were hurting. But you don't see any of that when you watch the video. You just
Yeah.
see just beautiful.
Yeah. I love that. It's an awesome video. I mean, I love that area in Palm Beach. I go every once in a while, especially that beach area. It's a good beach spot. I like it.
And the window displays. I mean, they're
Oh
amazing.
yeah,
It's
and
like very artsy.
was it Worth Avenue
Worth
or
Ave,
Worth
yeah.
Avenue? So what can you share about the next video coming up?
It's very different. It also stars us, and we also involved the public this time. So we filmed at a public location on Halloween night at Riptide's Cava in Del Rey, and it was also a lot of prep work
Mhm.
to implement that. But I guess what do you want to share without giving too much away?
Thanks, Crystal. Yeah, the places where we DJ. So if anybody is watching that doesn't really know us, we DJ every week at Riptide's Cava in
Every other
Delray.
month on Wednesdays.
And we've been there for over a year, and that's been a really amazing place for us to have a place where we can go every week and DJ so that we can focus on making music. We get our reps in. You know, we have a great relationship with them, and we're really thankful for that. But you know, this is a great place for us to. We don't have to worry about finding a gig every week. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Right.
Like we can go there and do our gig, get our rep in, keep working on our craft, and then we can spend more time. I wanted to make music this morning. It's like we spend so much time doing everything else, and now we like nearly don't have any time to make music, you know?
Yeah.
So you get away from it.
And going back to your question with the music video, this one actually has a really good story. Like our first music video was more about like the glamour and
Mhm.
just, well, the sights and the visuals and all that.
Mhm.
This one's more about a storyline where, Brady Beats is watching the Hot Crazy Matrix. It's hilarious. It's this professor guy who goes on a whiteboard and does one axis is hot, one axis is crazy. And it's about women. Every woman starts at a level 4 crazy,
Mhm.
and then it goes up from there. And there's like a no go zone, a friend zone, a wife zone, a date zone, a unicorn zone.
Okay.
Unicorn is like not really too crazy, but like hot. So the concept involves the hot crazy matrix. It involves falling asleep and going into a dream.
Okay.
Okay. And what you experience in the dream. It's really cool visuals in there. And we're really excited about it.
And the track is really good too. It's a little bit different to Keep Moving, the first video. You know, Keep Moving was more like a chill, deep house, chill vibes, where Hey is more like minimal, more
Mhm.
deep tech, minimal, sort of more like 4 o'clock in the morning in a nightclub type music.
What are some like dream venues or festivals that you're hoping to perform at?
My answer to that
Mhm.
is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. We are so passionate about music. We love our music. We listen to it all the time. We know if we love it, other people will love it too out there. And they need to hear it. And we want to play on those big stages. My dream would be Burning Man. I would love to play at Burning Man.
Mhm.
If anybody has a camp in Burning Man,
Yeah.
Yeah, we would. I mean, Tomorrowland would be fun, you know, in Europe. I would like to play like some beach party festival thing in like, you know, some island somewhere.
Yeah.
Just whatever, like Crystal says, Token Girl, we wanna play them all, you know. We're working our way up, you know.
I remember a while back, like I guess this was around Halloween when you were forgot the name of the kava bar up there, but Brady Beats mentioned that you saw a ghost or something. This is kind of like another reason why I wanted you on this podcast because I kind of only got half of the first half of the story, but I gotta ask again because just for like I want to hear it. And I only say this because I'm like believer of supernatural stuff and like I'm always interested. I don't normally meet people that can confirm they've seen a ghost, but I know you mentioned that you had twice encountered.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of ghosts when I was a kid, but never as an adult, not for like decades, you know.
Mhm.
And some people say that like kids can see ghosts and angels and things like that, you know.
Mhm.
But just you know, I grew up in England in the countryside when I was like really young, and all of the houses were haunted. I mean, it was so normal. The houses were thousands of years old. Well, not that old, but some of these houses were like 600 years old and stuff.
Mhm.
And a lot of people died there over the years, you know. And a lot of people were buried in the backyard. I mean, if you're going back like 400 years, you know,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like today, right? So there are. It seems like there's more spirits in England and more ghosts in England, you know. But
Mhm.
I woke up in the middle of the night. I saw a ghost at the end of my bed, just like a fluorescent, like 80-year-old man,
Mhm.
like a blue see-through man, just
Oh
staring at
wow.
me. Just my auntie's house was haunted in England, and that was an old medieval house that had big wood beams in the ceiling, you know? Like, that
Uh-huh.
was, like, old. It was called Black Hall in modern England. That was, like, well known that it was haunted, and there were always people walking around upstairs when there was nobody upstairs, and the doors used to open, and it was a big latch that you have to, like, press down, and it moves an arm, like, very like
Mhm.
a 200-year-old lock, you know?
Yeah.
And they used to open by themselves, like, freak stuff. So, Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I saw a lot of ghosts, and I definitely we definitely believe in aliens and
Yeah.
ghosts and supernatural, and we definitely do think that that stuff is real, right?
Yes, I've never seen a ghost. I've had like one minor little itty bitty experience, but that's it.
What do you all do to kind of release stress if you ever feel stressed out?
Well, we do a lot of different things. We're working all the time, so we try to have a clean diet. We try to eat a healthy diet. We're
Mm.
pretty gluten free. I say that because we cheat every now and then.
Mhm.
But we try to eat well. We don't drink alcohol. We do drink kava. We drink some kratom tea. That is
Mhm.
an alternative to alcohol, in
Mhm.
my opinion, much, much better because I don't think it's going to destroy your organs like the
Yeah.
way alcohol will. And it's not as aggressive. Like if a cup of tea is here and alcohol is over here, like it's closer to the
Yeah.
tea. But, ways to relax, just trying to eat well, like I said, take care of our bodies, exercise, things like that.
We also like to binge watch 90 Day Fiance and all
Mhm.
those like dating shows, Love is Blind,
Okay.
trash TV, because we also, work full time jobs too.
Mhm.
And one day we want to do music full time. That's the dream, of course.
Mhm.
But, let's talk about reality for a moment. Got to pay bills.
Yeah.
But, since we do a lot, like Brady Beats was saying, just to unwind and defragment our brains, we'll just watch like the trashiest TV. And that really helps kind of center our souls. And going for walks too. We like going for walks.
I don't watch too much TV, but I think the only thing that I've said that I've been addicted to, like, as for trash in regards to, like, love shows, is Flavor of Love, like, when VH1
Oh,
had those
yeah.
show, like Flavor of Love
Rock
2,
of
Rock
Love.
of Love,
Yeah.
but I was really big fan of Flavor of Love, like, this was in my college days when I was watching it, and I would get my friends also into it, and we would, like, have watch parties.
Oh, yeah. Same. Yeah. I remember that. The big clock.
And the thing is, this is how, like, young and dumb I was. I really believe or thought those, like, women who were, like, they were actresses and stuff, but I really thought, like, "Oh, they must really be in love with Flavor Flav,"
Yep.
even though they're really there for publicity, but in my head, I'm like, "Oh, no, this is real. This is love. They must really like him."
Do you remember the spinoff, I Love New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love that show. That was my favorite of all them all.
Do you remember Mr. Boston?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the twin, yeah.
Yep. I went to high school with him and his
Oh,
brother. Okay.
oh.
My mom worked at a tennis club in Concord, Massachusetts, and they would go there too. I went to high school with them. I think they were a grade above me.
Mhm,
And one of them, I forget which one, was really good friends with my really good friend at the time's brother.
mhm,
So, so you know, I remember when he got on there and it was pretty big because it was like maybe a few years after we graduated
mhm.
from high school. And it was a big deal to see him on there.
Oh,
But yeah. So that's our little story.
I didn't know that. Do you have any special routines or kind of rituals that you usually follow every day or throughout the week?
For me, every Sunday, I try to organize my life. The week is crazy for us. We have all these gigs, we work full time. On top of that, we have to do normal everyday things like laundry and cleaning
Mhm.
and cooking. He does most of the cooking. He does all the
Oh,
cooking.
nice.
And, so Sundays are a day to be like, okay, take a step back and reflect and be like, okay, I got to fold my clothes, I got to put them away, clean up the house, get ready for the week. And that's kind of something that we do every week, or I'm really big on doing every week.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I wake up every morning and I walk our dog and I feed our dog and I do that every morning. But that's more because of him.
Yeah.
But I don't have too many rituals.
How about when it comes to, like, your art? Is there anything, like, that you kind of practice every day routinely in regards to that?
I would say, I mean, there's a lot with the music we do. Like, we make the music, we do the content for the music, we come up with the ideas for it, we
Distribution.
distribution. When we're DJing our tracks, we search for music, we download the music, we got to organize it. it's a lot of work. Every aspect of it is a lot, especially with us doing it ourselves. So whenever we do have free time, we're like, okay, what's lacking? What do we got to organize here? Especially with our DJ mixes, there's a process to that
Yeah.
because YouTube doesn't let you upload every single song you want. You gotta test it. You gotta test those first because when we do our live mixes, we do them live. We don't pre-plan any songs at any of our shows with any of our mixes. It's all what we feel in the moment. It's all organic and raw. So if we're going to do a live set and publish it on YouTube, you would think, oh, they would plan a set because you can't put every song on it. What we do is we have thousands of songs. We run through our thousands of songs, like what we have, make sure we have a folder of those songs that are not, not flagged on YouTube and that are free to go through. And that takes time.
Right.
So that way, when we do the live sets, we have that. And so we have to do all these little things I just mentioned, all of that when we have time. And there isn't really a set schedule on when that stuff happens. It just happens when we feel like it needs to happen. The organization piece.
Do you do any practices that help motivate you that you can recommend for our listeners?
Well, if you want to start producing, just start doing it, You could watch a million YouTube videos, but it's not something you're going to be able to learn and understand without the physical, without the practical. So if you do want to make music, watch some YouTube videos. Be careful because there's a lot of nonsense out there. But there's definitely plenty of stuff at the starter level that will get you started. But practice, define your process and figure out who you are and what you want to make and then go after that. But practice is the key, I think.
The number one thing for me is just don't care what people think. People are going to hate. People are going to have opinions. But what do you love? What do you love to do? What do you love to put out there? What do you love to listen to? And that's how we think. When we create our art, when we create our music, there's a lot of noise out there. Just don't get distracted by it. Just stay focused on what you're working on. And you'll go places, and don't be afraid to fail. Don't let that fear come in there. Just put it out there. And yeah, maybe if it's not perfect, you'll learn from it. You'll do it again. And then you'll do it again and do it again. And that's how you learn and you grow. If you're too afraid to put anything out there,
you're not about it all the time, being afraid to fail. We have friends that are afraid to fail, and we have friends that are not, And you just got to get over it. You got to get over that hump, get used to it, and eventually it will become normal.
You're not just going to wake up one day and be a famous touring DJ producer around the world, okay, selling out shows. It's not going to happen. You're not going to roll out of bed and then have the paparazzi at your door. It's a journey.
Yeah.
You got to put in the effort to do it, and you can't be afraid of what other people think.
Right. As we wrap up, are you working on anything that our listeners should watch out for?
Definitely in the upcoming year, we have plans to do another Beat Train. We've already put out Beat Train 1, Beat Train 2. We're going to plan on doing a third Beat Train and some more live DJ mixes. We're going to be making some more original music. We already have a bunch of songs in the works that we're working on. We're also working on our first remix of a very popular song from 1971.
Okay.
It is incredible. It is a dream. And I'm just so excited about it.
Yep. And no cheese?
And no cheese. We have a collaboration that we're doing with another local artist who wrote the lyrics and is rapping on a beat that we've created and produced together. And it's a true collab. And we're going to be doing a music video for it. It's called No Cheese. It's going to be hilarious. And yeah, it's going to be great.
Yep. So those are our new projects. You can follow us on YouTube, subscribe, Instagram, all the socials. And we appreciate the support. We appreciate you, Barsky, for having us on. We've had an awesome time here today, and we'll love to see you again sometime.
Of course. Any final thoughts that you want to leave with our listeners before we close?
We do everything ourselves, literally everything, and we can't be as successful without, you, without our audience. We
Hmm.
can't. Without you, we can't. People like you who enjoy the music and who support it, who like our posts, who comment, who share it with their friends. So you don't know how much it means to us when people do that and tell their friends because it helps us get out there and share our music more. We also, another fact is we detune all of our music to 432 hertz. It's a healing frequency. So when you listen to it, it feels good, right? When you,
Yeah. Yeah,
if
I've listened to it like on the plane or your album. I listened to.
Yeah, it's good and it feels good and it's meant to give you healing vibrations
Mm-hmm.
too. So it's beneficial. And so again, just wanted to leave that we really appreciate all the support from all of our friends, fans, family because that's going to help us grow and share our music with more people around the world.
Yep. Well said.
Awesome. Well, Brady Beats and the Token Girl, I appreciate you joining me on Someday with Jay Barsky. Definitely, of course, we're going to see each other again on the next karaoke or like DJ event that you have. But thank you so much on joining me on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you next time.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for listening to our episode with Brady Beats and the Token Girl. Follow them on all their socials, which you may find in the episode notes. I hope you enjoyed our episode. Please rate and comment on the podcast to help make it grow. If you wish to follow me, all my socials are at I am Jay Barsky. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.